So there are 7 minutes and 50 seconds left in the map. And right now I'm wondering, you know, can Syanid change up his pace here? Can he pull something different out of his hat? Or is this the way he's going to be playing POWERTRIP down to the very end? Even if not, Purri's going to be changing up his game quite a bit. RJing up to the top there, catching Syanid off guard, landing that 10th frag. That's 9 ahead of Syanid now, with less than 9 minutes left on the map. And for every frag that Purri gets at this point, it's just going to be making Cyanid's comeback that much more exponentially more difficult. Now the timing might be such that Purri could actually be caught out here for the grab for red armor, so Cyanid's going to be trying to make this happen, and actually he should have. Oh no, red armor is up. Purri has his back to it. Purri is relatively low on health, but, you know, Syanid just did not switch away from that railgun. He was just depending on it for dear life, and that death grip is going to be the death of him today. Finally throwing out some rockets, but as you can see, they're not really doing what they need to do. That last one did do a bit of damage, but that was a lot of time that Syanid was not doing much against him at all. Now that was a nice bit of SSG as Purri came up the ladder, but rocket spoke louder. That's going to be 14 on 1. Syanid 13 frags down with 6 minutes left on the clock. I don't see it happening. But we will be seeing this thing run down. Purri grabbing red armor once again. Rails being thrown out still by Syanid here. And Purri just doing his ring around the bottom of that, throwing out rockets left and right. And we've seen him in previous EDLs just getting so many frags just with that method. And again, Purri's rockets have been doing the job. Cyanid's, you know, they've knocked Purri down to 57 health, but Purri's afforded enough time. I mean, Syanid, if he's trying to do this kind of whittle down and finish off play, he's been getting the whittle down, but even after the frag, he's taking too much time between, you know, getting some sort of stack back up to really be doing anything against Purri, because Purri has enough time to, you know, get more health, get the 50, get another red armor, and he's back to tip-top shape by the time that Syanid starts making the attack happen again. So the timing from Syanid just hasn't been there at all. Shane's going to be out, but Purri's going to drop in with the rocket, death from above. And we're going to be seeing the Duck Hunt dog laughing a little bit at that one. 16 on 1 now, 4 minutes, 43 seconds left on the clock. And we're going to be saying a huge congrats to Purri at this point, but we'll save it a little bit later. We still have 4 minutes here to go. But it is interesting to see that even if this were a 10-minute match, the outcome would not have been much different. In the other maps, Syanid definitely took advantage of the fact that they were 15-minute matches and really just eased into that and just kind of went patiently with it. And here, he's being patient, but the map is small enough that Purri can, you know, catch Syanid with rockets in the face before Cyanid's really ready for it. Not that you're ever really ready for rockets in the face, but you know what I mean. And that yellow armor's been up for a bit, and Purri's actually going to have to hurt himself in order to get the grab for it. The ring around the rosy rockets are again doing their thing, and Purri is going to be not getting a frag, but definitely keeping Syanid on his back foot, doing enough damage so that Cyanid's going to be spending enough time trying to come in here. And, you know, Cyanid's actually been able to get a grab for chain gun quite often here, but more often than not, he's been eating a rocket whenever he comes in for the entrance to start doing damage with that chain. Purri, I think, is getting a little cheeky here. Going silent. We hear a Dren picked up. And that will be Syanid coming up along the top. Almost faced right down into the ground with a rocket. Purri now dropping down. Actually, rocket jumping up to get some more damage in. And with that rocket, beautiful prediction there, and Purri is going to be getting another frag. 17-on-1 now. And so Syanid has had his claim to fame with D5, but even that was a fairly close game, especially with Purri swinging it back in his favor in the latter half of the map. But really, really great games there. But we will be seeing Purri taking home the crown for the season of the EDL. Now, it is interesting to see that for the first time in EDL history, we're not seeing Damaya, or Damia as some may prefer it. We're not seeing him in the top 3, and that's mostly because, well, he's not here this time around. And I think he's just taking a little break. There's some speculation about whether or not he's going to be coming back. But there is the call University for the need for new blood, and that's something that I will definitely harp on. And even though I think we can all agree that seeing like double elimination is not something we want to see, maybe splitting off the elimination groups into higher and lower areas, not just like, you know, winners losers bracket, but having 2 separate mini tournaments. Maybe because there are nearly 50 players in the beginning of each of these. Syanid does get back on the board there with a grenade, but right now I think Purri is just kind of jacking around, and with 2 health, Purri is gonna be getting back on the board there. He's gonna crater though. So I think lulls are being called out at this point. But like I was saying, you know, it would probably be nice to see, you know, some of those other 50 players, because in EDL history, you know, who do we really know? We know Damaya, we know Purri, we know Syanid, we know Provi, and a few other players like that. But other than that, out of the 50 players, there's so many names that just go unheard of. So I'm just not quite sure if the tournament does justice to how many players are actually involved. And of course, Purri, Syanid, Damia, they're going to be like the top 3, almost unequivocally. But hey, that's just some food for thought, because, you know, we really started to see it start at QuakeCon 2009, where there was the Pro Division and the Open Division, and having equal coverage for both tournaments, I think that was a really, really big boon for the community, and for, you know, giving some spotlight to the players who might not be of the likes of like Fox or Dehang or any of those other players, Rafa, etc. Fox, jeez, I missed that guy. But we have the final 10 seconds here. GG's called by all, and especially by me. This is Jahar with TastySplay.tv. Seeing the wrap-up, 22-5 here is going to be the final score on ptrip. And dun-dun-dun, Purri will be getting the crown and be getting the title of EDL number 8 championship. That's 2 in a row now, as we covered last year as well. Huge shout-outs to all the admins, Wissy and Chimera. Thank you for making this happen. Thank you to the players for being so awesome, letting us have the pre-game interview. And, well, I will be saying my ta-tas here in just a second. Be sure to follow us on Twitter, twitter.com/tastycast. It is quite honestly the best way to hear what's going on with us, with our coverage. And there's going to be a lot of it coming around all week, every week. Multiple games, multiple formats, but TastySplay is going to be giving you the same quality of coverage for whatever game we do. Also look for this video. I'll post it up on TastySplay.tv later today. Right after this, I'm going to go ahead and make a nice, sexy banner image for it, or non-sexy, depending on your preference. And getting that up ASAP, and we will be all updated and ready for the upcoming week. Right now, I do believe there are some worse out things going on, but I think I'll be signing off for most of the day. So GGs are going to be had by all. I love you guys. Couldn't do any of this without you. And the EDL, again, is where a lot of my heart is, just because, well, just because it's where we started. I mean, I can't say a whole lot more than that. So this is Jahara saying, see you guys later.